Okay, welcome to day 2 of the Cheltenham Festival. I hope we all had some winners yesterday and some of our tips came in. So we'll move right on to the opening race, which is the Friend Winter Juvenile Handicap Hurdle. Over 2 miles. It's for 4-year-olds. What do you think, Martin?
I think I'm looking at the Cambridge here because I've got the wrong race cards up. Let's get on to the jumps. Yeah, this is the 4-year-old handicap, this one, isn't it? Which is interesting because there's normally a big field in the Triumph, but when that comes up tomorrow, that's not got a very big field at all. There's a bigger field in this. And with a 144 at the top, you've only got 2 in the handicap again. South Seas and Tornado Faith. So it really is just like another version of the Triumph Hurdle, isn't it? So you can't look at anything other than the top 2, South Seas, Paul Rhodes.
Yeah, South Seas for me.
Oh, you both gone up the top. Yeah, I have to say 4-year-old races are 99% won, whether it's a handicap or not, by a certain few. And then, Jim's not got one in this, which is a surprise. Neither is Joshua. Must be well out there handicap, obviously much higher rated. Now let's see if the handicap works on this one. I'm going to go for Foxcatcher for Marty Cairns. It will be running out the handicap, but I just fancy something.
Well, yeah, it's running sort of what's it running? £12 right or something, isn't it? So it's if it gets beaten by one,
it's the closest, one of the closest.
Yeah, which is anyway. Let's not start on that again already. It's only race 1, isn't it? So no, it's me. I'm the one who keeps banging on about it because.
Yes, but I agree with you. That's just as bad. I'll get done for association.
Now we're definitely recording.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, we are definitely recording. Yeah, good to check though. So on to the sprint next, then the race where everybody puts their failed 6 furlong sprinters in, i.e. the Cheltenham Bumper National Hunt Flat Race.
Oh no, not safe. Yeah, they've given up on these. And this is a G1, isn't it? Yeah, so Paul Rhodes, Sir Alexander Graham Bell.
Yeah, got to be, hasn't it? Because he's that you can be pretty sure that will have been trialled as a flat horse and not made the grade. And if you look at the handicap marks of it, it's never run over hurdles or fences. So it is actually, at least he keeps sticking it in National Hunt Flat Races every week, as is Josh and Jim with theirs as well. So at least that's good, that people are actually sticking to the proper thing and putting National Hunt Flat horses in National Hunt Flat Races. But they're pretty pointless exercises for me, these races. So I think we'll go with Paul as well. We'll go with Paul in that one.
Yeah, no, I think you've got the TriCast there. I think out of those 3, to be honest with you, I think it will be between those 3. I'll go for Paul as well, which is rare that we all pick the same. And then I'll have Sonic Bridge Boy at 2nd and the Irish Fancy 3rd. Oh no, swap that around. Joshua will be 2nd because he likes that position. Sorry, Josh.
Back to real racing then, and the race that's named after probably the horse that started the Cheltenham Festival off to be really, really good. The first really big superstar horse, really. Golden Miller.
JLT?
Not JLT, no, Golden Miller.
Oh, sorry.
Golden Miller still remains the only horse to win the Gold Cup and the Grand National in the same season. He won the Gold Cup 3 years on a trot in the 30s. It's a pretty good horse, but of course with the Arkle coming along 30 odd years later, everybody just talks about Arkle these days, and poor old Golden Miller doesn't get mentioned that much. But the first real superstar of jump racing, Golden Miller.
Okay, I never knew that, but thank you for letting me know. Genuinely. G1 novice again. You got the top 5, 6. In fact, you got the all top trainers are running one in this. A lot of them, particularly ground-wise, very hard. Nominate Pardue doesn't really like winning. It's even unseated its rider. Okay, I'll go for In Cahoots for Leon, just under the top-rated horse in it. Hasn't won for a while, but has been there and thereabouts. So In Cahoots for Leon for me.
I'm going to go for Carl Aragante and put Indy.
Wouldn't that be good to see one of the people who are sort of like down at our level winning a really big race? And as it is, I would like to see Daniel win this with put Indy, but the way it runs, it goes from the front, doesn't it? And you just know that 1 or 2 of these are going to sneak up and nab it on the line, you would guess. The fact that the top 2 have both fallen, the fact that Paul Rhodes has already fallen, means I'm going to go for Leon In Cahoots.
That moves us on to the Pertemps, which obviously is the qualified horses from the qualifying Pertemps races.
There's been some discussion about this race, hasn't there, this week, and I think it's another one of those things that we can all sit and whinge about and we can all moan about and everything. Maybe there haven't been enough qualifiers for this, I don't know. There seems to be an SO6 hurdle qualifier every week, but there hasn't been a per temps hurdle qualifier every week. And when it's one of the big Cheltenham races, why haven't there been more opportunities to get into it? Because it's one of the smallest fields of the week.
A lot of these horses run in the qualifiers more than once after already qualifying. Now, if that then came in the first 4, to me, the 5th place horse should automatically qualify, which doesn't happen. Sunrise Phenomenal, I think.
It's because it's a 3-mile hurdle.
Twice.
Quite often there's only one 3-mile hurdle a week, or maybe 2. So if you've got a 3-mile hurdle, that's the only place you can run it every week. So it's ridiculous that these races have had great big fields.
The entries by making the 5th place get the opportunity to go through. You can still run it in there, but if you qualify again, you're not knocking one of the places out for somebody else's horse.
Small field, isn't it?
It is, and this race in real life has got 30 runners in it every year, and I'm pretty sure that years ago in this race, when you didn't actually have to win it to you just have to run in one to qualify. That you didn't have to finish in the first 4. You just run in one of the qualifiers. That allowed you to run in the final.
I'm not sure whether we had more qualifiers in the schedule before.
We didn't have it. No, because I can tell you this race last year, Miles came second in this last year, next edition, and there were only about 8 in it last year. You got to learn by your mistakes, I think, and you can't be having a race that's. I mean, I could have put 3 horses in this if it was an open race that anybody could have put in.
Couple.
But anyway, and also to make it even more ridiculous, you've got a few of the horses that qualified and now not allowed to run in it because they've got too high a handicap mark.
Yeah, Josh couldn't get one in, could he?
That is just ridiculous. If you're going to let
that's against. That would then make probably, I think Josh was 160 plus, wasn't it? So that would then also make most of the field out of the handicap again. It's the swings and roundabouts, isn't it?
It's not compulsory to run in it, though, is it? That's the thing. If you qualify, you don't have to run. But if you've qualified, you should be allowed to run. Otherwise, it just makes it a complete farce. So you can't have a horse in a race. You can't have a race where you're going to allow horses to qualify and then put a cap on the handicap and not let them run. It's just stupid. I think it's the oddest decision of the entire week, especially considering I think somebody said that 2 of the qualifiers have actually been run with a higher rating than the final. It's schoolboy error, really, to be honest. And it's if I was Josh, I would be absolutely livid. So I've qualified a horse for a final and it's not allowed to run it. And it's a good job he's not taking all his horses out in a fit of pique.
Yeah, no, it is unfortunate. Well, there's lots of little, tweaks that we need to do. Another one added to the list. But I fancy my horse in this. I'm just going to shout about my horse because I really fancy this is my best last hope of a win over, even on day 2 after only 16 races. But I think my Dan Silly Red, with the weight now, could have done with a little bit. No, it didn't. No, it's going to win. I'm that confident of this. Don't worry about the F. That was because it ran in a chased race last week, and at Cheltenham, just have a little run round. But obviously didn't quite make it all. Came second in a Group 1. Got to have a chance, hasn't it?
I think it's got a great chance, and I think you probably deserve to win this race as well because you're commentating on it, and Molliet Surfer's got 2 phenomenon horses in it.
Oh, no. I know. No, they're just going to be called Sunrise and Siamese. That's it this week. Anyway,
I guarantee you're going to get those 2 mixed up, especially if they're both running in these flashy new silks. You're going to have 2 horses, both called S Phenomenon, running in the same colours, and it's going to be a nightmare race for you. That one.
Don't worry, my horse will just be at the front from the beginning and win it all the way. So I'm tipping my own on this one. Get in there, Bill.
All right.
Yeah, I'll go with it as well.
Well, I would like to see. I would like to see it win. I really would like to see it win. I think you've had some rotten look lately with all those seconds, but the sort of there's a little part of me that can't not tip St Trinians because you always like a bit of St Trinians, don't you?
Oh, Graham Horse. No, I don't want that winning. I'm up against him in the Shield. So I probably won't get another opportunity to win. Now, who knows? He only ever comes second, though, doesn't he, Dan Silly Red? So maybe it's just what he does.
Come second. You're going to be called Stu the Second from now on.
Yeah, but I don't have that many seconds. Some people have a lot more. I mean, Joshua hits a lot of seconds. No, I just think I'm getting Stu the Second because I don't have any winners either.
Yeah, so having had a bit of a moan about the qualifying for the race and all that sort of stuff. It sounds like I'm having a go at Graham. I'm going to tip his horse as well, so he'll probably be sticking pins in me and calling me all sorts of names now for tipping his horse after moaning about the conditions of the race as well. So anyway, there you go. But I hope you do well. Still, I'm pretty sure you'll. You're going to have
I think I'll got a chance of her place, but
You're
I'd
going
like
to
to
have
win
a big
it.
win. You're going to have a big win before long, I think. You're going to have a big week one of these weeks because you can't keep coming second and it not all fall into place.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, I hope so. I hope so. There's not many weeks left.
You'll probably win the Gold Cup and the Grand National yet. We'll have to start calling you Golden Miller.
Oh, that would be nice. Nah, no one's going to win the national but Paul.
Yeah, we'll save that win till next week, shall we?
Yeah.
Right, Ryanair Chase is one of the biggies on day 2. We're all over the place now, aren't we? 12 races a day, but this is another big Group 1. Relatively new race. This looks interesting.
There's Josh's horse up there, 175. This is all set weights, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just go with Josh's horse. Law of consequence.
Okay. That's it. Yeah, I mean, rating-wise, it's pretty much leaps and bounds ahead of everything else but Jim Murray's horse. But I fancy Graham's horse. Don't like to tip one of yours, Graham. Oaks Day.
Yeah, Oaks Day won the Mackerson earlier in the year, didn't it? And
It did, yeah. And I think, as I said, Graham, I think, has probably got a few that he's kept purely for Cheltenham.
it's a huge step up in class, though, going from the Mackerson to winning the Ryanair. Necessarily up to it, to be honest, so I don't think that's got much of a chance. Sorry to be blunt, but I don't. It's nice to see the best horse in the best race, which is good to see, and he's not snuck it into a Group 3 handicap. He's actually running it in the Group 1, so it will be nice if that pays off and Josh wins. But I'm going to go for Leon's horse, Sail Away. Now, I'm wondering if he's I'm sure he hasn't named it after the Deep Purple song Sail Away, and I'm sure he hasn't named it after the Randy Newman song Sail Away. It's probably that Enya thing, isn't it?
Yeah, sail away, sail away, sail away.
There you
That's
go.
the only good song there is.
Now, the Deep Purple and the Randy Newman ones are better, but I'll leave people to make their own mind up about that. Unfortunately, you don't know either of them, so we don't have to put up with you singing them. So
I might swat up, and I'm not commentating on it anyway, so you're lucky.
Okay. So race 18 then is another Grade 1, and this is the World Hurdle, as it's called now, although we're still calling it the Sunbet Stayers Hurdle for some reason. And this is your big race to commentate on this week, Stu, so you can...
I better swat up on a bit of history of it then, before I start the call. Tricky big field. All the top boys in there. So hard to split them, really, let's be honest, over 3 miles, because some of them are going to have the unfortunate of maybe a pull-up or two. Can't jog off. Jim Murray doesn't like to get ahead of it. Isn't Sparhaven that horse that did really well one week over 3 miles and just went at the last fence a while back?
No, I don't know. That might be one of his other
ahead of everybody else.
Yeah, it might have been one of his other spire horses, I think.
Okay, I think it is only going to be between the top boys on this, I think. And I'm going to go for Hex Bag. Oh no, I don't know. Hex Bag for Joshua. There you go, because I don't really know, to be truthful with you. So I think it's pretty open amongst the top boys.
Okay. Is it half time yet, Doug? Are you back with us?
Yeah, half time. In this one here, I'm going to go with Jim Murray's horse, Carlton Shore Girl.
Yep. Both got good chances. I'm going to go for Green Shoots for me.
Oh, that's quite a good choice. That moves us on to race 19, the Brown Advisory Stable Plate Handicap Chase. Over 2 miles and 5 furlongs. Big field here for you, mine.
Yeah, this is another one of those ones where you can put 2 in, isn't it? And
it is a big field.
We got 6 of them in the handicap, so maybe we shouldn't moan too much this time. 5 of them in the handicap, anyway.
And
gotta do
most of them are owned by 2 people.
Yeah, but because it's not real and it's fantasy, you don't have to stick to your rules. And I've always liked a Rock Queen, me. So let's go for Rock Queen.
Yeah, it's a good horse, Darren Scotland. I'll go next. I'm going to Deep Miss is my best horse. And it's 5 starts, cut around 4th, then 0, 4th, 0, 4th. So really it's looking for another 0. But its 4ths have been in, one was in a Grade 2, and set weights Grade 2, and then 2 4ths in Grade 3 handicaps. And this is what we've got again, and right sort of distance. It's not too heavy in the weight, it's not too light, so I'm just going to go for my horse.
Is that the best rated chaser you've ever had, Doug? 1, 2, 4?
Yep, that's exactly right. In 4 seasons.
Let's hope it runs a big race for you. Then it'd be good if you can get a winner at Cheltenham. It might rekindle your enthusiasm for the jump side of things.
Did you win a race at Cheltenham?
The sad thing is I haven't kept this horse at all in my breeding anywhere.
Oh.
It's just a cast off.
Mm-hmm.
Frustrating. You get a few of them.
It's bad to win a big race now then.
Yeah, exactly. Well, no, good luck with that, Doug. Deep miss. Okay. Don't know. It's pretty open field. I think.
It is an open race.
Tricky. It's down the bottom. I mean, I've got a couple in it. I'm not actually sure whether either are in it. To be truthful with you, neither of them are particularly any good. But again, probably just somewhere to go. And like you say, I mean, it doesn't really matter that it's a handicap. But I'm going to go for Bay Street of Darren Thompson's.
Yeah, it's not far off the top. He should have a good one. Looking at that is probably one of the biggest fields of the week, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not sure how many it is. I haven't counted them. I think I'm counting them now.
25, I think. Well, I reckon there's more than that in the Gold. I reckon there's more than that in the Gold Cup. I'm sure at one point it was 28 in the Gold Cup. I don't know if anybody's taken any out. So.
You need a big field for your style of commentary.
Hold on.
So it works well.
I don't mind a big field. It stops me having to waffle about stuff and upsetting people if there's a big field. So.
That's exactly what I was saying.
Okay. Then.
So what are you going for?
I'm going for Rock Queen. I said that about half an hour ago.
Yeah, you said that, of course. Well, let's move on then.
The Troll House Stud Mares Novices Hurdle, Grade 2. That's a bit of a mouthful, that one, isn't it? Grade 2 Novices, 2 miles, 1 furlong.
Small field.
Yeah, no, it's my kind of commentary. Oh, and funny enough, I will be commentating on it.
Nothing really surprising, but Fire Up the Band. Again, this is probably its best chance for a win, and it's been pretty consistent. Hasn't only the one placing, but nothing around it is as outstanding either. So
yeah, nothing really sticks out, does it?
Looks like it'll be a good race, doesn't it? I mean, the top 6 there, 6 of the top trainers over the jumps. It'll probably be between those top 6, won't it? And Witch's Lily is a boring pick, but it's the top rated. Yeah. It's never run over fences like a few of the others have, so it's obviously a specialist hurdler. Yeah, Witch's Lily.
Well, I'll just pick one out. I'll go for Music Maze Girl for Jim. We haven't tipped him a lot this week, and his horses have been pretty good of late, and he's got to have some winners, and we're 20 races in, and I'm not sure if we've tipped him at all. So Music Maze Girl for Jim Murray.
Okay, well, I think his horses are doing okay. The ones that are standing up, he's having a lot of fallers lately, isn't he? And which is a bit odd. Hopefully that won't continue.
Yeah, and funny enough, moving on to the Kim Muir. I won this 2 seasons back, which was my only ever win here at Cheltenham, with Graham Kay, who actually runs in the Gold Cup this year. So but he's obviously 2 years on now. I mean, he was 6 when he won the Kim Muir. He's 8 this time, and I think he might just be too old.
Hold on. You can't do that. That's too realistic. That's what happened in real life for a 6-year-old winning the Kim Muir and an 8-year-old winning the Gold Cup. You can't do that. This isn't real.
I think more luck than judgment, Martin.
Well, all I can say is be a brave man to pick Jim Murray's Hopkirk Shore boy.
You would be.
Yeah, 4 figures though. Jim Murray horses are awful, aren't they? I bet Jim not an horse with 4 figures like that.
It's still rated 127 after all that. But I suppose it would be because of the pull-ups not.
Yeah, but you see, that is another thing. That, again, it's just sound like I'm moaning about handicaps and stuff. But I can get the fact that you don't change the handicap of a horse when it falls over or at the beginning of the season because you don't know whether it was going to be really good. But if horses are constantly pulling up, it's telling you something. It's telling you whether they're not very good or they've got too much weight. So you have to drop them. And if you... A horse pulls up every week, but it never gets dropped in the handicap. It's just going to get pulled up the next week again. And now I've started, I might as well finish.
Correct.
At least most of these are in the handicap this time, so I don't have to whinge about all the horses running out the handicap. This is actually quite a good. This is a proper tight sort of handicap, really. If you look at it, the weights will go right down to 106. So there's only going to be the bottom half dozen running out the handicap, really. Jamie Hopkins has got Clarkson. I'm now wondering if he's a closet Everton fan, because that might be named after Davy Clarkson, who's our sort of Dutch misfit, who was supposed to go to Napoli on a transfer window day, but didn't, because Napoli have got some very bizarre rules. I don't know if anybody knows about this sort of stuff, and Napoli are like my sort of foreign football team that I support, and it's anybody ever been to Naples? It's it's a bit of a tough old place, Naples. It's a sort of place where you your throat cut for looking at people the wrong way and all sorts of stuff. And they have got some crazy rules at Napoli. And when you sign for Napoli, you have to give them 100% of your image rights. You're not allowed to do adverts for anybody else. You have to cancel all your contracts that you've got with anybody and stuff. And he wouldn't do it, so he didn't go.
Oh, how interesting. Just purely on that. So people like Maradona, and when Gascoigne was there, was Gascoigne at Napoli?
In those days, though, there wasn't a great deal
Not
of
so
money
much,
in the thing, and all of the money has to go to Napoli. And the story that they've put out in the papers and stuff is that they didn't sign him because he's cup tied in the Europa League. Now, Napoli are currently top of Serie A, or second, on the top with Juventus, and I think it's Juventus. That's obviously their main concern, and he could play in that, and so. It's obviously down to the image right. So if I get my throat cut next week, you know that the bosses at Napoli have sent somebody around to get me. I hope they don't, because I do support them. Anyway, that's my first sort of going off on a sidetrack today, I think. What I think's going to win the race, sadly, I don't think Clarkson will win. If my horse stands up, it ought to have a chance, and it's quite nicely weighted, but it does have a tendency to wallop the odd fence and fall over, which is a bit of a concern. So, do you know what? I'm going to tip you, Stu, because I reckon Napoleon Grey, who's a superbly named horse, is getting there, isn't he? Look, 0321. It's a nice sequence.
It would be nice, and yeah, it will stand a chance. It does on trials. It does well, but like you say, you only read.
Have you gone, Stu? Hello? Is Stu still there?
Prime Minister the.
Yeah, he's back.
Say something, Stu.
Hello?
No, Stu's gone. He's not in the call anymore. Obviously, the shock of me tipping him has made him drop the phone.
I don't know. Fucking cockroach.
No idea what happened. Carry on. I'll reboot. He's just sent me a message. So, did I tip one in that? Yeah, I tipped Napoleon Grey. Have you tipped one yet, Doug, or not?
No, I haven't. I actually do like Stu's horse, but I'm going to go with Daniel French's Knight Tinkertown.
That's the first.
A fitting winner.
Yeah, that's the first mention we've made Daniel French this week, isn't he? It's nice to see him get a winner as well. Stu's disappeared. We don't know what's happened to him. He's just fallen out of the call, so hopefully he'll get back in shortly. It's the middle of the night in Australia, so we'll press on, and hopefully Stu will join back in when he gets back in. So the next race is the Triumph Hurdle then, which is traditionally the opener on the final day, and is usually a massive field in real life, and we've only got 10 or 12, haven't we? So what do you like the look of?
Just having a quick squeeze through it. This will be set weights, wouldn't it?
Yep.
It's pretty tough to go past the first 2 or 3. I'll go with Darren Thompson's horse, Juanito Layan.
Yeah, this is wide open, this race, isn't it? I mean, I've sort of said in my notes about my horse in this that I don't necessarily think there's a star 4-year-old this year. A lot of the 4-year-old races, if you've noticed them, they've been finishing in a bunch. So you could pick any of those top 6 or 7 even, and not be surprised. In fact, you could even go down to Pharaoh of Nepal, Molly and Surfer, and all 8 of them have got a chance. I think it's just Alex and me will be fighting that for last, I think. But the others have all got a chance. I want Secret Lemonade Drinker to win, because you just know, don't you? And you've probably not heard this, because you probably didn't get it in Australia. But if that wins, Stu is commentating on this race, and if that is in the lead, jumping the last and going away to win, he will not be able to resist bursting into the Secret Lemonade Drinker song from the advert, which I think Steve Rand pointed out the other week was Elvis Costello's dad. And I'm pretty sure we'll get a version of that from Stu if that wins. So for that reason and that reason alone, I am going to go for Secret Lemonade Drinker.
No worries, sounds good.
And we'll see what Stu thinks as and when he gets back, because I don't know what he's done. He's locked his computer up apparently. He's just sent me a text saying that he's going to reboot because he's fallen out of the call. So we'll let him have his say on that later on, and then we'll go on to the Vincent O'Brien County Hurdle. Bigger field for this one.
Definitely.
And a reasonably good spread in the handicap as well, right the way down past the first page. They're all still in the handicap, so few of them with a chance. What are you liking?
This must be a 130 raining one, maybe.
Yeah, I guess it must be with the top one, 128. You would think it's probably a 130 cut off.
Probably is. probably a very open race. Your horse might have a chance lower down the handicap.
Yeah, I mean, mine won really well last week, but it's one of those horses that seems to prefer an odd distance, 2 mile 2 or 2 mile 3. It seems to be really good at, but this is 2 mile 1, so I don't know.
It's tough field, really. It's pretty open.
Mm.
I'll just go with Turquoise, Vineyard or Vineyard, Aaron Thompson.
Yep, that was one that I was looking at. I was torn between that one and the one above it, so as you've gone for that one, I'll go for the one above it, because I couldn't make one up between the two anyway, and we got more chance of getting a winner between us if we have different ones. So Miami in orange for Molliette's Surfer. Looks to be in with a chance. And you've got one in that. Has yours got any chance?
Probably not.
No. Okay.
Although it's got duck eggs next to its name, but it's still got an 84 rating. So
yeah, it's rated £3 better than
yeah,
Stu's.
yeah, and Sirius's horse has run a third,
Mm.
and it's lighter than mine. So mine must have done something somewhere. I'd be surprised if it won, or even ran in the top 5, or even top 10. If it runs top 10, I'll be happy.
Yeah, it'll be a tough race to win that one, because there'll be plenty of chances, and they'll be pretty bunched up and getting a run and all that sort of stuff. So that takes us on to the final race then of day 2, which is the Albert Bartlett Novices Hurdle, which is the 3 mile novice hurdle. Some pretty highly rated ones in this as well, but again, it's level weight, so that's what you'd expect.
I'll go Full Metal Jacket Leon.
Yeah, that does look good, doesn't it? That one. This is a bizarre choice for two runners this race, because I would have thought that many people have got 2 3 mile novice hurdlers, and so I don't know why this one was chosen as a 2 entry race. It's a bit of an odd one. It's probably the smallest field you're going to get for it, one where you can put 2 in. Josh has got 2 in. Yeah, I think Gray might have 2 in as well. I think down the bottom. We've got
he does too.
Down the bottom. Yeah, it's You've really got to look at Josh, I suppose, haven't you? Because he's got 2 in there that have both got a chance. And again, as in the last race, I was going to go for Full Metal Jacket, but as you've pipped me to it, I think we better go for 8's a Mystery, because it's, according to the ratings, it's £15 better. If it is £15 better, it ought to win, really.
Yep, especially at set rates.
So that's day 2 sorted then. Let's hope Stu gets himself sorted out before the racing starts. Otherwise, I'll end up doing all the commentaries today. I'm sure he'll be back, and we'll see everybody tomorrow.
No worries.